It's not conditional for you, brother, to see the person who made the iPhone to come to conclusion this phone must be created. How? Just by looking, analyzing. Okay, look, there's structure, there's menu, it's been organized, programmed. You can see either was created by someone possessed knowledge and a wisdom and a will, or by blind matter. Which one makes sense? The phone was created by someone possessed knowledge, and we can see knowledge. Because if you don't know how to make a phone, can you make a phone? No. So you need the knowledge, prior knowledge. Yeah. Now you know how to make a phone, but you don't have the ability to make a phone. Can you make a phone? You don't have the ability. You need the ability. Okay. Now you have the ability, you have a knowledge, but you don't have the will to make a phone. You need the will. Okay. So logically, rationally, I haven't seen the person, but I can come to conclusion the person who made the phone must be knowledgeable about how to make a phone. If I told you the phone was made by a rock, would you accept that? You're laughing because why? It's stupid, isn't it? No doubt, it's foolish. Okay, even though, remember, a rock has energy, but that is not enough to make this beautiful, well-fascinated phone, yeah? Okay, this phone was made by a child that is 5 months old. Would you accept that?
No.
Nah. Okay, if this phone was made by someone who has PhD, how to make a phone? Yeah, it makes sense. Okay, bro, this phone is nothing in comparison to just your eye. Your eye is more designed and more complicated than a phone. So how on earth this phone must have a creator, and you and I and this beautiful, well-designed creation doesn't have a creator?
True, that's true.
Yeah, common sense. That's what Allah said in the Quran. Am khuliqu min ghayri shay'in am humul khaliqun. Were they created by nothing? Listen to this, yeah. Allah, you know, Allah is not asking question. This is called rhetorical question. In a way, is Allah rebuking people who try to even believe that this creation was created by nothing. So Allah said, am khuliqu min ghayri shay'in. Were they created by nothing? Or did they create themselves? Non-existence doesn't even exist, let alone to create something else. Understand? Likewise, it is impossible that we create ourselves, because if we were non-existent, therefore we need what? Something else to bring us into existence, and that something else cannot be a rock or child. Looking at this tremendous, well-designed creation, powerful, must have Almighty Creator. Make sense? Alhamdulillah, you know, that's why in the Quran, I know in the Quran, brother, yeah, always says, أَفَلَا do you understand Arabic?
No, really.
Okay. In the Quran it says, أَفَلَا يَعْقِلُونَ. Do they not use their brain? Do they not use their brain? Allah says, أَفَلَا يَتَدَبَّرُونَ. Do they not reflect? Use your intellect. The beauty of Islam always direct, Allah always address the sound reasoning and natural inclination. Like for example, Allah said, هل أتى على الإنسان حين من الدهر لم يكن شيئا مذكورا. It is not the time for a man to think. There was once upon a time was not even a word of mentioning. It was nothing. Now you have hearing, you have a sight. All that was created by a blind matter. That doesn't make any sense. You must have a creator, and we can see the knowledge day and night. What is today? Friday. Tomorrow Saturday. How we calculate it? Based upon the sun setting, sun rising. And everything is order. Order doesn't come from chaos. Order doesn't come from randomness. Order and a program, and it comes from something that possesses knowledge. You understand? Every woman gives birth to a child. Woman doesn't give birth to old man and he starts becoming a child. You understand? So there is an order. You can see that, and that you need what? Knowledge behind. As we say, you can reflect and see the manifestation of the effects of the Creator's wisdom. We have a nose next to our mouth. Why? Before you eat, smell food. Before you eat, you smell the food. You have eyebrows above your eyes. Why? Because the sweat contains salt. If your sweat keeps going to your eye, it will damage it. So the eyebrows to protect it. Yeah.
What happens when you sweat? It goes down the side of your face, right?
Yeah.
That's for a reason.
Sweat contains salt. There's
If it's
salt.
in your eye too much, you can go blind.
Yeah, damage it. Yeah.
Eventually, yeah.
Yeah. Sweat contains salt. You have
I never knew that.
Yeah, of course. You have a joint in your elbows. You give and take. Your eyes in the front, not at the back. You walk. Your head is not on the floor, it's up. You have the hands, you have the fingers to grasp.
Too much detail.
Too much detail. That's what Allah
Very
said.
precise.
Yeah, that's what Allah said about the human being are a sign for Allah's existence.
وفي أنفسكم أفلا تبصرون.
Within yourself there is a sign. Upon the earth there is a sign. You know, the mountains, the sea and everything. When you see a nice iPhone, say, how amazing, how beautiful. But what about you and I and our eyes and the moon and more amazing? That's what Allah always said, إِنَّ فِي خَلْقِ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ. Within the creation of the heavens and the earth. وَاخْتِلَافِ اللَّيْلِ وَالنَّهَارِ. And the alteration of the day and night. It is a sign for people of understanding. It is a sign for people to look and reflect and worship their Creator. Make sense so far? Everything makes sense?
And remember, an iPhone, at the end of the day, you need to plug it into the wall to get energy. You don't need there's no wires hanging out from it.
And you know what one of the scholars said? Have you ever heard someone says, let's go to the moon and fix it?
Yeah.
For how many years the moon setting, rising, or the sun rising, setting, everything that human creates gets old and you have to fix it.
You never woke up in the morning and the sun forgot to come out today. 9 o'clock and it's still dark AM. Never, right?
You know what is Muhammad? You know you're smiling because you know it's true. You know why? And remember, you know, we believe as Muslims, every human being has something called al-fitra. Naturally, fitra mean where it comes from, fatara. Fatara mean Allah created you with it. But however, due to our society, we've been poisoned by science. Science or full of lies, telling us that it was created by chance. Chance not even entity. Chance is a concept. It's like telling me, who made the phone? 1 + 1 made the phone. 1 + 1 made the phone. See, so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala always tell us, and He says overwhelming, but in reality, it is in a way, but what I'm just doing, I'm just waking up your sound, natural inclination, and the sound reasoning, which the Creator has given you. And if this is the case, therefore the Creator will not create the creation without any purpose. Your eyes has a purpose, your nose has a purpose, every part of your body has a purpose. What about you as a whole? What is our purpose? Logic dictates, if I'm the first person to make a phone, and you want to learn about the purpose of the phone, there is no one made the phone before me, you come to me, because I made it the first. So you come to ask, what is the purpose of the phone? Logic dictates, if you want to know what is our purpose, we go back to our Creator. That's why He chose people amongst us, the prophets and the messengers, to convey the message to us while we're here. What is our purpose of life? However, when the Creator chose people amongst us, He gave them something, differentiate them from the rest of the people, in order for you and I and the people to recognize the true prophet of the Creator and the false prophets. For example, they are known to be trustworthy and honest. They come with the same message, worship one God alone. They worship nothing beside Him. They come with the prophecies. For example, to show you that Prophet Muhammad is trustworthy, honest, he was not a liar. To show you he was not a liar, during his lifetime, eclipse happened. That was the same day when his son passed away, Ibrahim. So his followers tried to connect the dots, as we say. There is eclipse, same day Prophet Muhammad's son Ibrahim passed away, therefore it is a miracle. If he was a liar, remember, a liar will try to utilize any opportunity to manipulate people, correct? To back up his claim. But what did he do? He said, no, eclipse has nothing to do with no one's life, no one's death. It's from God. When you see it, rush to it. Compare this and compare when Christopher Columbus went to South America and he told the Native Americans, the reason there's eclipse because God is angry with you. How he utilized the ignorance of the South American to manipulate them. And how Prophet Muhammad never utilized the ignorance of his followers to manipulate them. What he did, he connected them to the Creator, not to himself. Another example to show you this man was an honest man. During his lifetime, his friend, his companion, the wife of his companion, she doesn't want to stay with him anymore. He loved her so much, he used to follow her in the streets. Prophet Muhammad ﷺ went to her. He said, why don't you go back to him? She said, O Messenger of Allah, is that a commandment from Allah? Is it a commandment? Are you commanding me? Or is it you try to mediate? If he was a liar and he wants to manipulate the people, well, he could have said, he's my friend, I'm going to manipulate you to bring you back to him. He said, no, that's not from God. I'm just trying to help. If you want to go back, you go back. If you said, I don't want to go back, it's up to you. that is not characteristics of a liar. Because when someone claims to be a prophet of God, and if he's not a prophet of God, he's the biggest liar. And he's doing it to try to manipulate people. But when you study his biography, you can see it's not that Prophet Muhammad never tried to manipulate the people. Likewise, when you come to the prophecies, Prophet Muhammad said to us, will come a time when you see women dressed but are naked at the same time. They'll be dressed but are naked at the same time. We can see it right now. That was not the case 1,000 years ago, or 200 years ago, 300 years ago. Now we don't know if they're dressed or not. So how man the reason Prophet Muhammad mentioned that, because he mentioned he saw type of woman in hellfire, he never see them in life. Allah gave him the power to see the people of hell. He said some of them, I saw some women dressed but naked at the same time. And that we can see it right now. And also he said you will see the barefoot Arab man competing in building tall buildings. Let me ask you, where is the tallest building in the world? Dubai, yeah. Dubai. 50 years ago, Dubai was a pure desert, let alone 1,400 years ago. How we knew that? Because the one who knows everything and the knowledge of the future in details is the Creator. And Allah, to show the people that this person is a prophet of God, like Jesus prophesies about the future too. We believe that. So he gave him that knowledge to prophesy, to show the people. So likewise, we look to the Quran. The Quran is a guideline for everything. Let me ask you a question. Imagine I said to you, look, imagine in a house and you wake up in your own room and there's a fire everywhere. Everywhere. And you try your best to save yourself, but you couldn't. I came and I saved your life. What would you say to me? Would you thank me? You would thank me.
Buy your house.
You buy me a house, you would thank me. Would you remember me all the time?
100%.
No doubt. But I never gave you life though. So why don't you remember and be grateful, gave your life for free? You see? Look, even I had the example of two eyes. I said to people, imagine I said to you, look bro, I'm a millionaire or multi-millionaire. I'm going to give you £2 million as a gift. You know, if you do take it, what would you say to me? You're going to thank me. In Egypt, £2 million, you become the leader, president. £2 million is a big money. But if I say to you, I will give you £2 million on a condition, give me your two eyes. Would you do that? No, because your eyes is more valuable than anything else. Yeah, so why we are not grateful to the one who gave us eyes for free? And remembers him. And be grateful to him. One person, you know what I said to me, one person, he said, my parents gave me the eyes. I said, that's not true. Because when you become blind, your parents cannot give you eyes. If it was up to them in the beginning, they'll be able to give you eyes again. That shows you they never gave you eyes. You see, and how many times there's children born blind. So it's the Creator who gave us eyes. You know, so what I'm saying to you, clearly that you can see the blessings of the Creator. That's why Prophet Muhammad told us, if Allah tests human being with, like if a child is born blind and is patient upon that as a test, there is no reward for him except paradise. Because the eyes is a big blessing, you understand? See your mother, yeah, to lose them is a big test. But if you are patient upon that, reward is paradise. But now let me ask you, if you want to buy a gift for your mother, would you buy a gift that you love or your mother love? Your mom. Likewise, if you want to worship the Creator, we should worship Him the way He loves, not the way we love. Because the way He loves is the absolute truth. Make sense? I mean, look, brother, I want to show you something. Why Islam is so different from any religion. Islam came to preserve 5 things. Pay attention to this, yeah? Islam came to protect and preserve 5 things. Islam came to preserve oneness of God, religion. That's why in Islam, paganism and polytheism and atheism is forbidden. Why? When you have God, when you don't have God in your life, you start following your desires. And we can see that right now. What's happening around the world now, men wake up, he doesn't know if it's a man or woman. A woman wakes up, she doesn't know if it's a man or woman. They don't know if it's he or she or they or, you understand? Why this happening? Because when you have no God in your life, the true God, you start following your desires. You understand? And the outcome of following desires will bring destruction upon us. You know? Like, so that's the first one. Islam came to protect religion. The second one, Islam came to protect intellect. Preserve intellect. That's why alcohol and drugs is forbidden. Thirdly, Islam came to preserve wealth. That's why gambling and interest forbidden. Fourthly, Islam came to preserve family life, marriage. That's why fornication and adultery is forbidden. Lastly, Islam came to preserve life. That's why committing suicide and killing people unjustly is forbidden. These 5 things that Islam came to preserve, not just to preserve it, also there's a punishment for anyone who tried to break it. What is the opposite of that? Alcohol. Is alcohol good for us or bad for us? It's bad, individually and collectively. Gambling is bad for us, individually and collectively. Interest make rich richer and poor poorer. It's bad for us. What they call it? Fornication, adultery is bad for us, destroy families and so on. These 5 things, and all these things, these vices I mentioned, it goes back to the most evil thing when you don't not worship the true God. The outcome of not worshiping the true God, you have, for example, alcohol is allowed, drugs is not allowed, but both of them they cause the same harm. Rather, majority of crimes because of alcohol. So why the government allows alcohol but not drugs? Because alcohol, are you right? Because alcohols, you know why? Because alcohols, they make money from it. It's high taxes, you know. But Islam, that's why when you see when humans make legislation for themselves, there's desires and bias get involved. But when it comes from the Creator, there is no bias and desires. That's why these 5 things that destroy societies, Islam comes to remove it. That's why majority of times those who are very hostile to Islam, either they are those who are making money from the suffering of the people, or the ignorant ones. You know, and the question you ask yourself, how man that existed 1,400 years ago is able to come with this perfect way of life? On the other hand, we have these politicians who studied in the best universities around the world, yet they cannot help us to resolve the problem around the world. Because that man, Prophet Muhammad, is a message of the Most High, the all-knowing, the all-wise, who knows about his creation better than anyone else. What did you guys say so far? Make sense? Yeah, but makes sense, clear?
Questions?
Huh?
Do you have any specific questions?
Question, yeah.
Yeah, so obviously, like, I stopped believing Christianity because I'm just like, oh, God loves us so much and everything, right? I'm just like, He loves us so much, right? We create sinners, we're all humans, right? That's how I think. And we do sins, we get sent to hell forever, you can't do anything about it. You know, you're 60, your life that lasts for 60 years, you know, bang, you just go straight to hell. Like, compared to eternity, 60 years is like not even 0%.
That's true. Yeah.
Like,
so
for that, you just get like sent straight to hell. You get like no remorse for that, no remorse for what you did here. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but this argument of about hell, if God, this argument came from a philosopher, Greek philosopher called Epicurus or something like that. And this argument was used against the Christians. As for the Muslims, they cannot use it against us, because the Christians claim God loves everyone unconditionally. And if this is the case, it makes sense. If God loves everyone, how is going to put everyone to the how is going to put someone in the hellfire, but He loves him? Yeah. But Islam, no. Islam, we don't believe God loves everyone. God loves goodness for everyone. But God is not just love. The Christians, they say God just love. Of course, if this is the case, they contradict themselves. He's love, but He's putting people in the hellfire forever. No, Allah, He has attributes of love, but He has attributes of mighty, has an attribute of justice, He has an attribute of anger, He has an attribute of power, and so on. So now, for example, imagine there is a judge, and a judge gave the punishment for the murderer death. Whoa. That doesn't mean the judge is not a loving person. What it means that the judge is wise. He gives every person what he deserves. You with me so far? No, I'm just showing you. Yeah. If the judge give
deserve a second chance, though.
Huh?
Deserve a second chance.
Yeah, but now what is the second chance? He's killed someone.
True.
Yeah. So we're gonna come to God, but I'm just showing you here that even our normal life, analogy I'm using, even our normal life, if a judge gave you a death penalty because you killed someone, that doesn't not negate the judge is loving. It has attribute of love, or has attribute of mercy. But it is from oppression to show love to someone who doesn't deserve it, or to show mercy someone who doesn't deserve it. Do you understand? So what is the wise person? the wise person to put everything in its proper places. Do you understand that? That's what I'm saying. So we believe Allah has different attributes and names. However, when we talk about hell and paradise, we believe that those who go to hellfire forever, not because of the time. So example of that, imagine I kill 20 people in 2 minutes. 20 people. You go and rob someone and it takes you 1 hour. Who do you see has more time? But I've done it only 2 minutes. You've done it 1 hour.
But what you did is more impactful.
That's it. It's not about the time, it's about the crime. The crime. So the crime of rejecting God is the biggest crime against God. Because naturally, everyone's born to recognize the Creator. That's why Islamically we believe when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not punish anyone until the proof become clear to them or been established upon them. So if someone never heard about Islam and he dies on the day of resurrection, Allah will not punish him straight away. Like second chance speaking about, yeah? Allah will test him to show you that Allah is just. And also Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, every human being that knows deep down there is a Creator. However, some of them been confused and been been influenced by other philosophy. But naturally, we know there is a Creator. Let alone the Quran and the prophetic teaching come in to show you clear proofs that there is a Creator who deserves to be worshipped. But you turn away from Him and you say, I'm not going to worship you. That shows you have disease in your heart, which is called arrogance. That's why in the Quran, do you know who's going to hellfire? The arrogant ones. That's why people should say, like for example, you should not say, oh God, why you want to punish him? You should say to him, oh brother, why you want to go to hellfire forever, even though you know Islam makes sense and is the truth. Allah said, أَفَنَجْعَلُ الْمُسْلِمِينَ كَالْمُجْرِمِينَ مَا لَكُمْ كَيْفَ تَحْكُمُونَ? Are we going to make equal the evil with the righteous one? How can you say that? Allah is the most just. That's why based upon Allah's mercy, He created paradise. Based upon His might and anger, create the hellfire. And to show you Allah is powerful and just, Allah created this life. He has good and evil. Yes? The hellfire is pure evil and paradise is pure good. So in this life, if you really want to be in a place that is only good, this is your place to change and choose the good place by worshipping your Creator who created you and create everything. Do you understand? Make sense?
Good.
Alhamdulillah. You understand? So that's why, you know, in the Quran, when we look at the Quran, Allah never said, all people who are good go into the hellfire. No, the evil ones. And to give you an analogy, imagine my father and my mother took care of me all their life. All their life took care of me, fed me, clothed me, treat me nice. When I grew up, I abandoned my parents, I disrespect them, and I take care of my neighbors. Am I a good person? But remember, I'm good to my neighbors though. But I'm still not good.
It doesn't really matter.
That's it. You know why? Because that's it. I'm missing priorities. So you're good to people, but you're bad to your Creator who gave you everything.
You make good points.
Alhamdulillah. This is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Alhamdulillah. You see, that's why look, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, Allah mentioned the Quran, وَمَا كُنَّا مُعَذِّبِينَ حَتَّى نَبْعَثَ رَسُولًا. Allah will never punish people until the proof becomes clear to them. So what you have to understand, bro, that people are going to go to hellfire forever. And guess what in the Quran says? In the Quran mentioned, even if we give them another chance, they will go back to disbelief. So that's why this Quran mentioned the reason they're going to be in the hellfire forever because of the arrogance that they have. Even like, I'll give you know Richard Dawkins? Richard Dawkins is one of the biggest scientists, atheist, militant scientists, yeah? They asked him, they said to him, imagine on the day of resurrection you see God, and God is true. What do you say? He said, I will say to him, what are you hiding for? That's arrogance. Even though he's going to see God, but he still is going to disrespect who? The Creator, the Almighty. To show this man is arrogant and he deserves the hellfire. And what Richard Dawkins did, he proves the story of Iblis in the Quran. Because some people say Iblis saw the greatness of Allah, but yet disbelieve in him. We see the greatness of Allah as well. That's a miracle. The sky, nothing is holding it. You and I, this tremendous, powerful creation. The moon and the sun, the stars. How many signs, how many proofs from their Creator. Every day they walk past by. They don't look to the sky or the earth, but they are unaware of it. So everything that exists is a proof of Allah's existence and that He deserves to be worshipped alone. Look, I said, if I give you £2 million, you say I will be grateful to you. I will do, if I gave you, if I saved your life, what about the one who gave you life and everything? If you go to may Allah forbid, if you go to hospital and you need oxygen, they will charge you money, correct? They will charge you, yes. It's not free. Of course, you have to pay. Or the benefits will pay for you.
USA.
Huh?
You got to do that in America.
Are you from America?
Yeah.
Ah, you from?
You got to pay for all that health stuff.
Of course, you're from United Snakes.
Nah, me, nah.
I'm joking. We call it United States. I call it United Snakes.
Yeah, good. You should call it that.
We're from Egyptian originally, yeah. But you have to pay money, yeah. But the oxygen that you get in here, are you paying money? Free. So why don't you be grateful to your Creator? Why don't you worship your Creator? Christianity doesn't make any sense. The Bible, the Europeans came to our countries to force Christianity upon us. The same people who try to force us to follow Christianity have left it. The Western world tend away from Christianity because Christianity is not from God. It doesn't have solution. In Christianity, you're allowed to drink. You're allowed to harm yourself. But Prophet Muhammad said to us, don't drink even if it's a little. Because that legislation came from Allah the Most High. What you have to understand, brother, you have to understand that this life is nothing. Regardless how long you live, you're going to die. And you're going to stand before your Creator. The one who gave you life, He will bring you back. That's what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned in the Quran. The time Prophet Muhammad salam, an atheist came to Prophet Muhammad and he had some old bones and he crushed them. And he said, oh Muhammad, you claiming that God can bring this back to life? Allah said in the Quran, وَضَرَبَ لَنَا مَثَلًا فَضَرَبَ لَنَا مَثَلًا وَنَسِيَ خَلْقَهُ. He struck an example and he forgot his own creation. قَالَ مَنْ يُحْيِي الْعِظَامَ وَهِيَ رَمِيمٌ. He said, who's going to bring back these bones back to life when it is dust? قُلْ يُحْيِيهَا الَّذِي أَنْشَأَ أَوَّلَ مَرَّةٍ. Oh Muhammad, say to him, the one that will bring it back to life is the one who created in the beginning. وَهُوَ بِكُلِّ خَلْقٍ عَلِيمٌ. And he knows every creation. He knows everything about creation. So what we say, how many people leave the house and never come back? How many people won't sleep, they never wake up? There's people like you and I, they are not inside the graves. There's something guaranteeing this life is death. That's why Allah threatens people with death. And Allah threatens people with the hellfire. But also Allah get people excited with paradise. That if you follow God's teaching and worship God, this life is a test. Allah mentioned that clear to us. This is a test. Don't be deceived by this life. Who is your forefathers? Who is my forefathers? Gone. They didn't take no money of them. They'll put you inside the grave. Even your parents will love you, who care about you. They will put you inside the grave and they will leave you. Allah said, لَقَدْ جِئْتُمُونَ فُرَادًا كَمَا خَلَقْنَاكُمْ أَوَّلَ مَرَّةٍ. You have returned to us just as we have created you in the beginning. Prepare yourself, bro. I'm saying it makes sense and it's clear to you, to worship your Creator. In one of the miracles of the Quran, that in this Quran Allah said, وَلَقَدْ يَسَّنَّا الْقُرْآنَ لِلذِّكْرِ فَهَلْ مِن مُدَّكِرٍ. We have made Quran easy to be memorized. Easy to be memorized. Can we verify this claim? Yes. Go to Egypt, Algeria, Morocco, Pakistan, Afghanistan, America. Muslims at the age of 10, 11 memorize the Quran word for word, letter for letter. That's why the Quran will never be changed. And subhanallah, those who memorize it sometimes, they don't even speak the Arabic language, but they memorize this book. And one of the prophets in the Quran, Allah mentioned that Islam will overpower other religions. And we know the fastest growing religion on the face of the earth is Islam. Even though there is a huge war against Islam. In media, everything, but Islam is spreading. Why? Because Allah mentioned that. Yeah, barakallah. That's why one of the miracles of the Quran, it goes allowed our sound reasoning. Why? Because the one who gave you sound reasoning and he created your natural inclination is the same one who sent down that book. That's why they click in. Yeah, if it makes sense to you, stopping you, why don't you become Muslim? Yeah.
I was planning on this for a while.
Yeah, alhamdulillah. And now here, mashallah, it's the best holiday.
Two sentences.
Yeah, alhamdulillah.
Yourself.
The one to break it down is the one when you say, where is it? How to ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, ashhadu anna Muhammad Rasulullah. I should no one worthy of worship except Allah, who deserves my worship and my thanks, and Muhammad the messenger of Allah, who God sent to worship Allah according to him. Ready? Alhamdulillah. I also record it as خلاص.
أشهد
أن لا إله إلا إلا
إلا
الله
الله
و
الله
yeah
إلا
و
الله
yeah after Mubarak, don't worry, now let's repeat. وأشهد
وأشهد
أن
أن
محمدا
محمدا
رسول
رسول
الله.
الله.
In English, say the meaning of it. I bear witness. Say after me. I bear witness. There's nothing
Nothing
worthy of worship
worthy of worship
in truth except Allah.
except Allah.
And I bear witness.
There's more.
Yeah, I bear witness
I've been witness
that Muhammad
that Muhammad
is the last messenger
is Allah's messenger
and the servant of Allah.
and the servant of Allah.
That's how you become Muslim, my brother. Let me give you a hug. You don't have to memorize that one. Just both you told, mashallah. Mashallah. Alhamdulillah. That is alhamdulillah. 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 You know that say barakallahu fik.
Congratulations, it's the best religion.
Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. You know that two testimony, you step by step you memorize it. But now just repeating it, that's how you become Muslim. Alhamdulillah. And what is upon you now, alhamdulillah, you have to learn, study, and worship your Creator. Alhamdulillah, that's a big blessing. I'm very happy for you, brother.
You have a good
Alhamdulillah.
good for you.
Yeah. You've been sending the videos, yeah?
Thanks so much, bro.
My brother. May Allah bless you, man.
Yeah, have you actually?
Mashallah, you go gym?
Yeah, man.
We go gym together then.
We met.
You met him in the gym? Mashallah, what gym you go to?
No, you know, Oxford.
Okay, salat, okay.
Bro, wasn't planning to tell me how he was firstly. He said, let's go get a drink. I said, cool, no worries.
Look at that, subhanAllah. Look how Allah decreed that today you would meet, you would come here, and I bet you woke up in the morning not even thinking that you're going to become Muslim at the end of the day. On the day of Friday, Jum'ah.
Yeah, go on,
I was trying to find you. I was trying to figure out what time you were Speaker's Corner, and then subhanAllah, I said, you know what, let's go Westfield today, and we saw you.
Allahu Akbar, so it was not even planned. Allahu Akbar. MashaAllah. Alhamdulillah, Allah, I'm very happy for you, brother. But you have to stay firm, brother. You know, this life is a test. Allah would test you, but stand firm. And what we say, brother, I say to people, don't worship Allah because you're going to die, because in paradise will not die forever, eternity. However, we worship Allah because He deserves our worship. Understand? He deserves our worship.